Okay. So, factor special products. Okay, we've been doing just the factoring. We started out on Friday with difference of squares. Okay, so that when we have something like a squared minus b squared, it factors into a plus b times a minus b. Okay, then yesterday we saw what happens when we have, I'll get there eventually. If you have something like what's written down here in red, the a squared, and then plus or minus, depending on the case, 2ab plus b squared, and then respectively, it would either be a plus b squared or a minus b squared. Okay, and we call that a perfect square trinomial. So we've just been factoring to this point. Now it says to solve the equation. Okay? You do the same thing factoring, then you set each piece equal to 0 and solve it. Okay? So, we're going to start with 26. So these ones say to solve. Okay? 26 is 16a squared minus 8a plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay? So, I want to factor this first. So, which type is this one? No, like, is it a difference of squares or a perfect square trinomial? Huh? It's a perfect square trinomial, so what does that factor into? Okay, so, yep, 4a minus 1 squared, okay, because it's a perfect square trinomial, equal to 0. So we set that equal to 0. When I do that, the squared goes away, so I'm left with 4a minus 1 equals 0. Add the 1 to the other side, 4a is equal to 1. Divide by 4, a is equal to 1/4. And that's the answer. Okay? 28. 32 minus 18m squared equals 0. Is this a special type the way that it sits at the moment?
Yes. No.
Then what do I need to do if it's not?
Take away something from the...
Okay, so what can I do, or what can I take away?
Eight, 2.
Huh?
2.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said 8 and 2, and I was like, you can't take both. I was like, we can't take both. Alright, so if I take a 2 out, that leaves me with 16 minus 9m squared equals 0. Okay, the fun part about this being equal to 0 is that this actually can be rewritten as 16 minus 9m squared equal to 0, because that 0 divided by 2 is just 0, so that 2 is gone. So now, what special type do I have here? Difference of squares or perfect square trinomial?
Different square.
Okay, trinomial, tri means 3 pieces. Okay, so if there's not 3 pieces, it can't be a perfect square trinomial. Okay? So if this is a difference of squares, what would this factor into? If this is a difference of squares, what does this factor into?
We're waiting for an answer.
I'll give you a hint.
What?
4 plus 3 and 4 minus 3 and square.
Okay. Do that, set them equal to 0. Now I'm going to split it and set both pieces equal to 0. So I'm going to have 4 plus 3m equals 0. 4 minus 3m equals 0. 3m equals negative 4. M equals negative 4/3. Or the other one, negative 3m equals negative 4. Divided by negative 3m equals 4/3. And those two would be my answers.
Wait, why is 0, 4?
Because I subtract the 4 over, solving an equation. All right, 30. Negative 2h squared minus 28h minus 98 equals 0. Is this one of my special types as it sits? Okay, then what do I need to do?
Take out negative 2.
Take out a negative 2. That leaves me with h squared plus 14h plus 49. Okay, just like the one above. Okay, if I have all this stuff and I have this out here, I can divide it and get rid of it. So h squared plus 14h plus 49 equals 0. Now what special type is this?
I want to say perfect square trinomial, but I don't think that's it.
It is.
Yep, perfect square trinomial. Try 3 pieces. So what does that factor into then?
I don't know.
7.
H plus 7 what?
Square equals 0.
Now we take that. So h plus 7 equals 0. So h equals negative 7 is our answer for that one. (32) Negative 3t squared is equal to negative 108.
We're just going to move the 108 to the other side, or no?
Yes, I think 3 will also go into 108, so we could also do that first and simplify it down. So what is 108 divided by 3? Because the negatives are going to cancel.
You did that 50?
Huh?
He said 15.
3 times 15 is 45.
Exactly.
This is 36.
Okay. All right, so then now I can move it to the other side. Or if you happen to know how to take a square root, you can get your answers doing it that way, but we're going to keep with the factoring trend. So t squared minus 36 equals 0. Which special type is this?
Wait, are you pointing at? What?
What special type is this?
Double 2. What was it called?
I don't know, you tell me.
The double squared. The
Difference of squares.
yeah.
All right, so then what does that factor into?
2 minus 6. And then t plus 6 equals 0.
All right, so then set each piece equal to 0. So t minus 6 equals 0. Or t plus, it's really confusing, t plus 6 equals 0. So we add the first one over. So t equals 6. Or subtract this one. T equals negative 6. 34 and 36 have fractions, so I'm not going to give you those ones. But I want you guys to all try this one on your own. 38. Negative 20s minus 3 equals 25s squared plus 1. Okay, so this one's going to require you to move some stuff around. Okay. If you don't get something that is going to give you a special type, okay, something is wrong. Okay? So move, I'm going to tell you, the hint is move everything to the right.
So add 20s.
You're doing this one on your own.
Oh. I do have a pencil for my locker.
It'll be faster.
I have one in history class, which was literally last period. Now I don't have it.
close to an answer. All right, let's go ahead and go over this one. All right, so what did we do?
So I added 20s and -3 to the right side.
Okay, so you had 25s squared plus 20s, and then add the 3 over, so that would be plus 4 with adding the 1.
No.
Okay, well that should be what you have. And then just because I like the 0 to be on the other side, I'm actually going to rewrite it with the 0 over there. But I did it just like I've done before, okay? I moved everything to the right, so technically it's 0 equals blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't really matter what side the equal goes on, so I like it on the right, so I'm moving it over there. Now what special type is this?
Trinomial.
Okay, perfect square trinomial. So what would this factor into?
5s plus 2 squared.
Equals 0. So then the squared is going to go away with the 0. So 5s plus 2 equals 0. Subtract the 2. 5s equals -2. Divide by 5, so s equals -2/5. Should be your answer.
I got s was equal to -1/5. And I'm gonna cry now.
How did you get like the plus 2? Oh wait, that's 4. Wait, no, that's 2 squared. That's 4. What do you do? What about the 20s though?
Well, it's the perfect square trinomial, so when you actually multiply this back out, you would have a 20 in the middle.
See, but like when you're doing like the last part, you don't do anything with the 20s.
No, after I factor it, I'm using whatever's factored.
Okay.
All right, so then problems I'm giving you that you need to work on for the rest of class, and you should be able to finish. So I'll create a separate tab for them. 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, and 37. Okay, and I would really recommend, these are odd problems, that you check your answers in the back, okay, after you're done, to make sure that you're doing them correctly.